Hey everybody, welcome back for war number 2 of season 27. For this war, we are matched up against 4 Loki. I'm fighting for the Alliance SAS. We have a bunch of friends in the other Alliance. Quality group of people. However, for this season, they are not pushing full pedal to the floor. As you'll see, there's a few indications with some of their defenders placed with Double Edge and Liquid Courage. However, still going to be a good challenge. We have 5 fights lined up for us this war, starting up on Path 4 where we have an Invisible Woman and Claire, both fights that we should be pretty comfortable with. We hop over to Path 7 in Section 2 where we have a Weapon X as our first fight there, and then moving over to a Dragon Man as our second fight in Section 2, and then we end off our war with a Rage Extend Return Policy Domino. Should be a pretty good matchup, however, it's always sketchy fighting Dominoes. Always super uncomfortable. So these are the attackers we're bringing in. Same team as last war. We're bringing in Human Torch. He's at rank 3, Sig level 20. He's taken on 2 fights, both Mystic fights. Super straightforward for him. Archangel's coming along as well. He's taken on 3 fights. The Invisible Woman at the start, then the Weapon X, and the Domino at the end. And Magneto House of X comes along. I believe we'd use the Guidance boost just the one time this war. However, the increased ability accuracy is always nice for Archangel. So here's our first fight on Node 1. Steady build up Fury and running on fumes. This should be a pretty straightforward matchup. Haven't fought Invisible Woman in a long time. However, there's not much in terms of threats here. So the game plan is, as per usual with Archangel, just stack as many Neuros as we can and let those do the work. She will start out invisible at the start. She is duped, but it is on a timer, it's not paused, so just have to wait it out for a second and then we can kind of get down to business. So we'll parry, only get 1 bleed off that heavy. She does have that passive Fury from Steady Build Up Fury, but really it's not a big deal. It's almost a non-issue here. We are going to be healing from whatever debuffs get placed on us. So it takes us a little bit to get some neurotoxins lined up on her, but once that happens, she starts to melt, as you can see. So this fight's going super well. We're just going about our business, parry heavying, and there she goes. There's that first fight down. We have 4 left. Always good to start with a fairly clean one. And next up here we have a really common placement, Black Widow Clairvoyant on Node 10. It has Steady Build Up Fury and Long Distance Relationship. Once again, not a lot of threats here, especially when we bring in Human Torch. We aren't going to use our pre-fight yet. We are going to use it later on during the war for that Dragon Man. And the only thing we have to keep in mind is to try and prevent her from throwing heavies. We just want to limit the amount of bleeds that are going to be placed on us. Because 1, they do a little bit of damage, and 2, they do actually lead to a decreased duration with our incinerates, but regardless, the magic is still super strong. We hit Nova form 7 hits into the fight, so those incinerates, both the passives and the active ones, they are doing a ton of work here, and we are almost out of this fight. Looks like 1 more 2-hit combo should finish it, and there we go, 20 hits down. And she goes down, and that's the end of our Section 1. We head over to Section 2 on Path 7. A little bit of tweaks on Path 7 with this season. Node 33, we have a Weapon X, and it has Spite and Rise to Power now instead of Powerful from Afar. This is Panaman Pete's Weapon X, and I know that he will be running Double Edge and Liquid Courage. However, I've never done this matchup before and wasn't sure how Rise to Power is going to work out, so I knew the game plan, worst comes to worst, we'll stick a Neuro and just try and hold on to it. I end up using an Invuln boost here because if both fights go well, they should go fairly quickly. So hopefully I can get 2 fights worth with the Invuln boost, and just to play it really safe here. So we don't have to worry about Spite. There's no real way for us to gain buffs, however. Rise to Power, that should technically come into play, but as you see here, our first parry heavy is going to fire off 2 Neuros, and Rise to Power doesn't actually activate for the first knockdown. So that kind of lets the fight snowball in my favor. You can see Rise to Power activates a second time, but by then it's way too late. We've got 5 Neuros, get a reparry, and the fight is pretty much over here. He's going to get stunned, and we finish off the fight. So we got 16 hits. Looks like most of these Weapon X fights go by super quick, but I'm always worried about them. So node 43 here, here's our fourth fight, Kinetic Transference 2, Aspect of Evolution. This is Vega's Dragon Man. Super cool dude, really glad I've gotten to know him through the MCOC community. However, I do not want to die to his defender here, so I'm activating Flame On. This is the last torch fight of the war, and just have to manage his power stacks, make sure they don't push him to a special 3. And I'm not going to worry too much about Kinetic Transference here, because 1, Kinetic Transference I'm pretty sure was nerfed a little bit, and then 2, I'd rather give him a little bit of power than miss time of Dex, get knocked down, and have to deal with Dragon Man being unblockable for a little bit, and then have the fight snowball from there. So we remove his power charge right off the bat, and he throws a special 1. Thankfully, we end up blocking a few of those hits there. No big deal. Dragon Man is halfway down, and we need him to throw a special 2. And there we go. We end up blocking a few of those hits as well. But really, this fight goes by so quickly that that's totally fine. And we get through that fight fairly safe. Leaving us with one last fight here on Mini Boss Island. It is a Domino with Rage, Extend, and Return Policy. So this should be a pretty good matchup here. I end up using the Guidance Boost from Magneto House of X, just because one of the biggest threats I think for me, if this fight were to go the wrong way, it would be me forgetting that she reduces stun duration when she's lucky, and so the Guidance Boost here, it should kind of counteract that. I know the Rage threshold is 5,990, really not a big deal with Archangel, so I don't have to remove any of my masteries, and I'll keep a health boost on as well as a lower green champion boost, and that should set us up for success here. I'm going to back off at the start just to make sure we nail our first parry from a distance. Get a few bleeds at the start, that's a pretty good start. Just need to play it patient and stick a few poisons and then close the fight out from there. Taking us a little bit, we haven't been able to stick a poison, but 1 neuro, that's okay. Hopefully we can build on that, and we're in a good spot here. We're going to push her to a special 2. Really easy to evade, we just back the heck up, give her space. Really low threat here, and the fight is almost done. Just a few more neuros, just to tick her down, melt her down. And as you can see, we haven't triggered Rage once. It really wasn't ever a thought. And she goes down. So always good to get through a Domino fight, no matter where she's placed on the map. I've definitely seen Domino fights snowball the wrong way. And we end up winning this war. I think the final score was 8-5. Definitely not our sharpest performance, but still always good to walk away with a win. So as of now, we are 1-1. Hopefully we can kind of build off this performance and kind of generate some momentum for us. But yeah, that's the end of War 2. So thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed, and catch you at War 3.